warm good evening to one and all. I am extremely glad to address the students of Rashtriya Ayurveda Vidyapeeth assembled over here. I have been associated with Rashtriya Ayurveda Vidyapeeth for more than a decade, which gives me added pleasure to be present on this platform as a part of Global Ayurveda Festival 2021. In fact, Global Ayurveda Festival 2021 has been on the wheels for the past 7 days with great fervor, charm, and enthusiasm. The bringing together of representatives from the academic, clinical, research, and manufacturing areas of the entire Ayurveda fraternity makes this event very unique and meaningful. Additionally, it has set a stage for inspiring the student community and boosting their morale too, a commendable gesture indeed. We do have brighter roads ahead for sure. Dear students, you have the potential to take this science forward to greater heights and glory. Haven't it ever struck your mind that only the human race, blessed with intelligence and discriminative power, are the strongest of the entire creation, exhibiting the greatest trait of resilience? Of course, the pandemic times and our attempts to fight against the audience endorse the fact. Let me tell you the story of our founder of Ayurvedishala, Vaidyaratnam P.S. Warrior. Vaidyaratnam P.S. Warrior started this institution more than a century back during a time when there were hardly few ways to facilitate the functioning of Ayurveda medical care and medicine manufacturing units. It was his foresightedness, determination, and perseverance which led to the establishment and growth of Ayurvedishala to an organization with 4 hospitals, 3 medicine manufacturing units, 26 branch clinics, 3 medicine manufacturing units, more than 1,600 authorized dealerships, herbal gardens, and publication department as a part of it. What I mean to say that nothing can stop you once you have made a choice and decide to work for it. Traveling back in time when my generation were students and reached post-studentship days, the then situation was totally different. We were left with not much options to improvise ourselves as well as the science. Our access to advancements in the fields of science and technology was comparatively limited. At this juncture, let us quickly glance on the positive sides of the coin in the current scenario. Starting with the academic or educational realm, the changes happened are tremendous actually. The conventional classroom setup is taken over by and has now become flexible to accommodate methods of virtual information sharing, which actually facilitates easier and effective ways of data exchange, documentation, and storage as well. I do not mean to say that it is equal to or above the physical classroom setup. However, it has got its own plus points at the practical level. We have databases with enormous data collections on every topic under the umbrella term Ayurveda. This is in fact can lighten your burden in identifying and exploring the areas of interest from the vast and broad literary foundation of Ayurveda. Not this alone, present day students get the advantage of studying, analyzing, assessing Ayurveda, taking the support of modern medical and scientific information, which would give more clarity to the understanding of the science. And see how wonderfully does the social media help you. It offers a big space for academic and clinical discussions and learning. In fact, media passes on the details of the new openings and opportunities rapidly among yourself. You would also be recognizing the increasing difference in the interpersonal approach in teacher-student communications in the present times. Our generation were quite reserved in communicating with the teachers for many apprehensions. So was the social setup then. However, you have got all the access to your teachers and freedom to express your doubts and queries. That should be judiciously utilized. Also, think about the amount of commentaries or translations and independent literary works available in the regional language, even about various topics on Ayurveda to ease the learning process and to make the principles more comprehensible. All these changes deserve due welcome application and utilization. After coming to the end of the curriculum, obviously the main part is on how to direct yourself to a proper track from the intensively learned subject. Yes, there are various channels which you can take deviation to. In fact, clinical practice is the commonest route chosen by many. There, you need to carry a few points in your mind. We know we live in an era of knowledge search where every single information is available at fingertips. Such being the situation, we should keep ourselves up to date as regards the progress happening around us. That would help us remain more equipped in effectively handling patient communication. It is possible to convince someone about something provided we are thorough on the topic. So patient communication becomes a starting point in establishing yourself as a clinician. Stand in their shoes while you speak on their issues, as it helps form a good rapport, the much needed thing in this regard. Also, be very clear of the strengths as well as limitations as you deal with a patient and his disease. While you inspire the patient with the strong points to communicate the limitations of the science, if any, in an understandable and acceptable manner. This will give you more credibility and simple basic tip to be available always. Yes, that is the simplest but the most important criterion to be met with a clinical practice. To summarize, to be well informed, grounded, realistic, and dedicated. When you become a physician enabled with these qualities, you would definitely win the hearts of the people and go ahead successfully in your career. And again, for those who look forward to proceeding at a clinical level, the pandemic times have helped us in traveling, in revealing the significant areas where we can contribute substantially and the areas where our operations should focus on too. From that point starts the relevance and scope of research. Research and development becomes a core area with regard to future prospects of Ayurveda. You may know research as such is a broad term with numerous subdivisions. Apart from the basic research, by studying the principles of this science deeply and giving novel interpretations to them, big deal of the opportunities await you in clinical research and drug research. See, the pandemic times have even showed us the new directions to be taken by us in these areas. You may be aware that immense level of support which the Department of Ayush provides in research-related activities. Coming to clinical research, a larger area of our classical treatises still remain understudied when it comes to the presentation of various clinical conditions as well as administration of formulations in a condition-specific manner. May I share one or two such activities that were being done at Ayurvedisara? One is the administration of Mahanarayan Thailam in infertility cases. 10 milliliter of the medicine was given either on empty stomach or at bedtime daily based on the therapeutic suitability and requirement of the patient. This mode of administration was found effective in correcting reproductive dysfunctions, thereby favoring conception. Also, Valiya Sahajaraji Thailam was given in the same dosage and manner for sciatica cases, which was found to give better results. Integration is another important point to be discussed in this regard. The scope of integrated approach in chronic progressive disorders, especially the medicine dilemma, is very important. Integration, in our experience, is comparatively more effective in the management of cardiac diseases, progressive neuromuscular diseases like multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, demyelinating polyneuropathy, and so on. As far as drug research is concerned, it starts right from drug identification, standardization, quality control, and quality assurance aspects. There is yet another important area to be given much thrust upon. You know that we are under the threat of deforestation and non-availability of raw materials in the required quantity and quality. This is a major challenge to be overcome by us. You can work extensively in this field, actually to identify substitutes, to verify whether the quantity and number of ingredients in a formulation could be flexible without altering the quality aspects, etc. Recently, a substitute to Ashoka, that means Saraka Ashoka, was identified by the scientists from the Center for Medicinal Plant Research at Kottakkal. Polyathia longifolia exhibited similar physicochemical profile to Saraka Ashoka. At this point, let me point out another important project to be undertaken by your generation, cultivation of medicinal plants. You come forward, the government as well as many NGOs would support you, providing necessary guidelines and directions to make such ventures successful and useful to the science and society as well. Center for Medicinal Plant Research at Kottakkal would be happy to extend whatever help is needed in this matter in its own humble ways. In short, we should keep ourselves open to receive and implement the advances in the fields of science and technology in the areas of diagnosis, therapeutics, and medicine manufacturing as well. A take-home message, as said by Swami Vivekananda: take up one idea, make that one idea your life. Think of it, dream of it, live on that idea. Let the brain, muscles, nerves, every part of your body be full of that idea, and just leave every other idea alone. This is the way to success. I wish all of you all the very best. Thank you. Thank you very much.